Hello and welcome to another Tycho video. In this presentation, I am going to be providing a step-by-step process on how to generate transformation coefficients. So the first step here is to choose a standard field. So this procedure I've come up with is a total of 11 steps. So starting with the first one here, choose a standard field. So if you want to follow along, I have chosen NGC 7790. Now if you want to know what are the other options for the other fields, there's this link here. And if you click on it, it will take you to the AAVSO website, and they have a list of published standard fields. So again, I'm choosing NGC 7790, and I've also made available a link that has images of this field. So these in fact are the images that I would be using throughout this example. Step number 2, acquire images in each filter that you wish to use. So if you envision using the B and V filters in the future, then you would acquire images of that field with those filters. Step number 3, process the images. So start the Tycho software and add the images. So here is the Tycho software. And if you are new to Tycho, this is the image manager. So what I want to do is I want to go to list, add images. So here are the 5 images that I took of NGC 7790. So I click open, and now I have populated this list. The next step is to go to action, align images, and this opens a new window here. The default settings work just great, so click on OK. The reason we are aligning these images is, number one, it saves time. It means we only have to plate solve one image because they've been aligned. And the other reason is simply because it makes the rest of the process easier to work with if it can make that assumption that the images have been registered or aligned. So now that they've been aligned, we go and add those aligned images here. So Tycho will create a new directory. This is with suffix _a. So you navigate to that directory, choose the images, click open. Now if you are following along with this procedure, we are now on step number 5, plate solve the images. So you go to action, plate solve images. This opens a new window here, and there are a number of settings here, but again the default works just great for this example. If you wish to learn more about it, you can go to the user guide. So it's already kicked off this process here. We've started plate solving. So a solution has been found. Now it's verifying that solution. So I'll give it a moment here to finish up. Now it says plate solving finished OK. So if we go back here, it says plate solved, yes. The next step then is to go to action, view images. So here we have the image viewer. And again, if you're following along, we are now in step number 7. Open the standard fields window. So choose photometry, standard fields. So here's the photometry menu here, standard fields. And this opens up 2 new windows, one of which is a list of standard fields, and the other is a list of the recognized standard stars in this field of view. So as I zoom out, you can see this is what that field of view looks like. And the yellow rectangles correspond to the standard stars. So if I click on an entry here, it will navigate to that standard star. So you could zoom in and see what that looks like. Step number 8 is to open the Generate Transform window. So I go to Photometry, Generate Transforms. Now I have a new window here, and this is where I actually create measurements. So you'll have these 2 different drop downs here. The first one is to specify the filter label that you've used. So because I've acquired images in 5 filters, I have 5 options available. And I also would then choose the corresponding designated filter. Now the reason that you have these 2 different drop downs is because some users might label their filters differently. For example, they might label the B filter as blue. So if you had done that, you would choose blue, and then you would choose B as the actual official filter. So in this case, they match up. just fine. I don't need to really change anything. So I want to go ahead and create my measurements. So I choose my filter, I designate it as such, and I click on Create Measurements. So when I do that, now you'll see 166 measurements have been created out of the U filter. I repeat that process for the other filters. So I'm on the V filter, R filter, and the I filter. And now I have a total of 830 measurements. So at this point, we are now on step number 10, View and Edit Magnitude Pairs. So you choose Transforms, Generate from Measurements. So I go to Transforms, Generate from Measurements. And here we have a new window. This is the standard magnitude pairs. So on the left half, you have a list of the magnitude pairs, and on the right is a plot. It's a trend line with data points on it. And so it has, by default, here's the first one. This is U minus B. Now you'll notice for this particular pair, it's kind of difficult to get good signal-to-noise ratio out of the U filter. And what you'll notice is it just, right now it covers a range, a color range from -0.6 to 0.3. So what if we wanted it to color a wider range? Well, I could, as an option here, lower the min SNR threshold. This is the minimum signal-noise ratio. So what does that mean? It means that it's going to exclude data points where the signal-noise ratio is below that setting. So again, the default was 50. What happens if I lower it to 25? So I click on Refresh Filter. Now we have, as you can see, a couple more data points available. Here's one over here. And so you can see we've now expanded that color range for this magnitude pair. And potentially what that allows you to do is you can now get a slightly more accurate coefficient. But the other way to do it is simply take a longer exposure. So if I had taken a longer exposure out of the U filter, then I probably would not have needed to lower this signal-noise ratio threshold. Now, this is just one magnitude pair. This is U minus B. Here are the other ones. B minus V, V minus R, V minus I. Now you'll notice this looks like an outlier, so I can click and drag a rectangle around it, right click, and choose Delete. So that's how you get rid of outliers. And here's R minus I, here's another outlier, same thing. Now, again, these are just this concerns the horizontal axis. If you want to modify what shows up on the vertical axis, here's the drop down for that. So this would be capital R minus lowercase r, in other words, the true R magnitude minus the instrument R magnitude. So again, you can go through that whole process, evaluating, inspecting all of the data points for each of these different combinations that exist. So once you've done that, then you're on step number 11. This is the final step here. Once you're satisfied with the data, you can click on the button, Generate Transform Coefficients. So here it is, Generate Transform Coefficients, click on it, and now you have the coefficients. And then if you wanted to, you could go to File, save it, and go from there. So hopefully you've enjoyed this video. Maybe this is a easier way to do it for some people. So if you like it, then that's great. And that's about it for this video. Thank you for watching.